Hello, I am Jessa Dado. I'm going to present my report regarding the risk factors and vulnerability of the children to victimization. I will start with the introduction. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, children are among the most vulnerable population groups in society. In 2015, 31.4% of the children belong to the poor families. Hence, there's really a need to look after their survival and living conditions. Health and education as their rights, welfare and development are at the core of the country's social development goals. According to the Philippine Development Plan, or the PDP, 2017 to 2023, the vulnerable sectors are highlighted in Chapter 11, Reducing Vulnerability of Individuals and Families. The PDP chapter covers both women and children as well as the other sectors such as persons with disabilities or the PWDs, indigenous peoples or the IBs, and older persons. It discusses strategies to reduce vulnerabilities by decreasing people's exposure to risk and increasing their adaptive capacities. As our children are our nation's future, the importance of statistics on children cannot be overemphasized. Statistics on children provides various data about the current situation of the Filipino children. A database containing multidimensional information, for example, indicators on health, education, labor, among others. Links to updated and relevant statistics, an archive of studies and relevant researches, and a list of websites of concerned agencies has been compiled and made accessible to users. This was made in order to equip users with the means to understand the social, economic, and environmental dimensions of issues related to children in the hopes of transforming data into usable information and evidence-based policy decision. Further, the statistics on the children aid policy and decision makers in crafting policies, programs, and interventions towards human development and in sustainable social progress. About the PSA UNICEF project, the United Nations Children's Fund, or the UNICEF, supports the government in strengthening evidence generation and capacity building for planning, including social sector management information systems, to facilitate reporting and monitoring of key social indicators. The UNICEF PSA project seeks to conduct data assessment in terms of the availability of the latest data on child poverty indicators, update the database on statistics on child poverty, and prepare the statistical report on the child poverty indicators. The project also aims to produce equity-focused profiles that will focus on child indicators to provide access and utilization of disaggregated information to national and subnational level of monitoring and evaluating policies and plans. The equity profiles focus on the following: stunting, out-of-school youth and children, skilled health personnel and health facility, and child poverty. Risk factors and vulnerability of the children to victimization, according to the report entitled Global Study on Child Poverty and Disparities, the Case of the Philippines. Children in need of special protection include those involved in exploitative and hazardous or worst forms of child labor, neglected and abandoned children, street children, victims of commercial sexual exploitation, victims of physical and sexual abuse, children in situations of armed conflict, children in conflict with the law, children involved in illicit activities such as sale and trafficking of drugs, children with disabilities, children of minorities and indigenous people, children affected by HIV/AIDS, and child victims of trafficking. Out of school child and youth. It refers to the family members 6 to 14 years old who are not attending formal school and family members 15 to 24 years old who are currently out of school, not gainfully employed, and have not finished college or post-secondary course. The common reasons among out-of-school child and youth for not attending school were marriage and family matters, high cost of education or financial concerns, and lack of personal interest. Birth registration. Every child has a right to be born and to have a name and a nationality rather. It certifies the existence and identity of a child through given name as well as his or her nationality and secure all the rights due to the child. Unfortunately, many children are deprived of their rights to be registered, and birth registration is not free and not all parents have access to it. Children with disabilities. The least number of children with impairment falls under the age group under 1, and this is possibly because some forms of impairment do not manifest at early stage of infancy. Newborn screening or other tests may help detect possible impairment that could still be prevented. Unfortunately, some mothers do not avail of this health service due to lack of knowledge of its benefits or, in some cases, due to the distance of their houses from the health facilities. Street children. They are considered as highly visible children on the street and stay on the streets and public places at least 4 hours daily to engage in varied activities such as playing, sleeping, and earning a living. They are also referred as the targeted priority group who needs utmost attention due to the risk of hazards involved in staying most of the time on the street without adult supervision. Child labor. It is performed by a child who is under the minimum age specified for that kind of work and is likely to impede the child's education and full development. It jeopardizes the physical, mental, and moral well-being of a child, either because of its nature or because the condition in which it is carried out is known as hazardous work. Children in conflict with the law. There are those under 18 years old who are suspected or accused of committing offense such as petty crimes, vagrancy, truancy, begging, or alcohol use. These the two most common crimes committed by these children are theft and illegal use of rugby. They are also considered as vulnerable to abuse, violence, and human rights violation. Child abuse. It encompasses all forms of physical and or emotional maltreatment and sexual abuse and exploitation. The issue on child abuse is disturbing as it has harmful effects on child's health, survival, development, and on his or her dignity. The fact that child abuse, maltreatment, or other forms of violence continue to afflict children at home, in school, and in communities is a cause of serious concern. Article 1 of PD 603 states that the child is one of the most important assets of the nation. Every effort should be exerted to promote his or her welfare and enhance his or her opportunities for a useful and happy life. Article 15, Section 3 of the Philippine Constitution also states that the state shall defend the right of the children to assistance, including proper care and nutrition, and special protection from all forms of neglect, abuse, cruelty, exploitation, and other conditions prejudicial to their development. The major risk factor of victimization to children is the poverty, considering that poverty have stunted the growth, development, and education of child resulting to child labor, child abuse, and other factors. This is the end of my report. Thank you so much.